Hello, and welcome to the Borealis Experience. I'm your host, Aurora, and I'm very happy to be spending some time with you today. If you haven't subscribed to this podcast yet, please do. And if you're new to the show, welcome. I'm so happy to have you here. Everybody, this is a place to reflect and recharge and feel understood and empowered. You can find my podcast on Apple Podcast, on Spotify, on Deezer, on Stitcher, wherever there is podcasts around the world. And I'm pretty active on Facebook with videos and such. So if ever you feel like, watching my videos, getting a little bit more in-depth content, or simply wanting to connect with me, share your story with me, or requesting an episode from me, then please don't hold back. Today, I just made myself a tea and it smells so extremely good. A wild berry tea. So amazing. And I just painted my fingernails and I'm letting them dry now. I'm a very clumsy person. So whenever I paint my fingernails, I love to have a couple minutes of doing nothing before I go about my farming or house cleaning or whatever it is where I would otherwise ruin my fresh paint. So right now is a perfect time to dry my fingernails. I want to talk about aggression. Aggression, I feel, especially when it comes to women, aggressive behavior among women. It's just a topic that is so exciting and that I could talk about for hours, and I could listen to people for hours and hours teaching about it. Also, I find suppressed aggression usually results in depression. This is something I'm really familiar with. I basically went from hell to back to back to planet Earth. Sorry, I meant within the last couple of days. It was really very juicy in the darkest ways, and I talk about it lots on my Facebook if you're more interested in finding out more about it. We all have a dark side. We all go through really tough phases in our lives, and sometimes there is something that has happened, a trauma, an accident, something happened and it triggers those feelings, but sometimes those feelings just overwhelm you from nothing and they accumulate and become more and more, and it's just a whole shit show. When it comes to aggression I feel is an emotion, a go-to emotion, is very acceptable in some ways in our society, but in a lot of ways it's not acceptable. Because, it's very uncomfortable to be aggressed by someone else, right? I'm totally fearful of men and women, physically, certainly mentally, but also physically, when, somebody is being aggressive with me. I'm like a paralyzed little bunny. But it is part of life. It is part of human experience. And I really hate when people are all lovey-dovey rainbow unicorns and aggression is a bad thing. Aggression can't be. It's really not something we want to see because that's not possible. I believe strongly that it is part of human nature. And any person who wanders around, who walks around on planet Earth and says they never felt aggression is, lying. It is just not possible. We learn as adults maybe to suppress it more, but then, as I said at the beginning, it turns into depression. Aggression can be channeled. You can put your energy, your aggressive energy, into your work. You can be very assertive. You can be very ambitious. You can get lots of shit done when you are, using your aggressive energy to do so. It is your drive. And then, unfortunately, you cannot take it out on other people too. And that's not a good thing. So what I'm not saying here is that we should tolerate more aggression. No. This is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that aggression is there, part of our human experience. And some of us, most of us, can learn to channel that energy into, a more productive outcome instead of destructive. With opinions, with speeches, with verbal attacks, we can be extremely aggressive, and we can ruin relationships, we can ruin communities, we can shoot ourselves in the foot. And that is when we use aggression against ourselves, against other people. But we can use it in a beautiful way too. Somebody who knows exactly what they want and then taking the steps towards their goal and their dream is being aggressive. But not against other people, but she is using that energy to get things done, to bring their dreams closer. Now, when it comes to social relationships, it is really important to understand, like I'm here, best case scenario, when I'm in pain, when I'm depressed, when I'm in major discomfort, I'm not behaving like a depressed person. The stereotype would behave if there is any, like sitting on a couch and crying all day long, being in fetal position and only eating chips and watching Netflix. That's not me when I'm depressed. When I'm depressed, I'm aggressive with my surroundings. I'm impatient. And that makes it extremely difficult to connect and for people to really understand what's going on with me, because they want nothing to do with the aggression, of course. They push me away. They attack me back. All I want, though, is to be taken in the arms and to be asked, hey, are you okay? Can I help you? Can I be there for you? But of course, that's the last thing a person wants to do when you aggress them first. It's still something I need to make sense of in myself. It's still something that I'm slowly learning to make sense of, and I'm slowly trying to get better at. That when I'm scared, when I'm frustrated, when I feel powerless, helpless, insecure, then I'm aggressive. It doesn't help me at all. It doesn't help my relationships at all. Especially as a woman. I feel, especially being a woman, it is expected from you to be emotionally sound, to be perfectly able to express your feelings and to gracefully approach situations that make you feel insecure. But I missed that day at school when it was taught to us at a younger age. So understand that my message today is not to tolerate more aggression and to say, yeah, aggression is cool and that's why I can lash out on people. No, we have to learn to make sense of our aggression and be our own best friend and little detective there. And when somebody else is being aggressive towards us, just cut through and ignore the energy and the emotion that is being like thrown at you, and ask them directly, hey, you seem pretty upset. How can I help you? What is wrong? Which toe is hurting? You know, sometimes it's physical pain too. Sometimes it's hunger. In season 1, I have one pretty juicy episode where I talk about how physical discomfort can turn you into an absolute monster. And it's really interesting and fascinating, awesome to be aware of this, because it's so easy to appease, to give your body what it needs. Just drink a little bit more water, just eat the right foods, and that will in turn affect your mood as well, your mental health. So being aware of our aggression and becoming a friend of our aggression and not trying to suffocate it anymore, especially us as women, to not push it down and then let it out in some weird ways, you know, manipulative and passive aggressive and whatnot. There's so much stuff out there. There's so many fun inventions that we made because we think that aggression is a bad thing. No, I think if we learn to accept it more, then we can learn to dissolve it more as well, like faster when it comes up. We make sense of it. We maybe talk about it, express ourselves, and then we can let it out. Let it bleed out, let it flow out, and then move on in joy. And yeah, I think that was my message for today. Thank you so much for listening. Of course, I'm burning to know what you're thinking. Do you agree or do you disagree what I say here? And either way, reach out to me on Facebook. I usually post this episode and then a little video to it, and then just comment below. And I'm really, very excited to hear what you think about all this. All right. Take really good care of yourself. I will be out there on Thursday again. And until then, drink lots of water, take your vitamins, and go out for a walk.